Up here, had about 30 of them pull in last night. RVs, trailers. We're getting some rather nasty weather out here. It's trying to rain. Clouds are awful dark. Well, there's my ultralight. This is January 28th. I moved my camp back up to the mining claim, 2.5 miles from Quartzsite, west of town. Got a lot of extra company up here this time. Got a couple guys here, and there's another trailer just over the crest, and another trailer down over here. They're all GPAA members. And you can see town in the distance. It'll be quieter out here, easier to sleep. Well, I traded my last ounce of gold for a used generator. Now I can charge up my 8-hour video battery, and I can charge up my trailer battery in the back. It's got a 3-hour capacity, and if I ever get a hold of my my 2-hour video charger, and the thing that also allows me to watch my videos through the TV, then I'll be able to watch the videos or the tapes that I have out here. I can watch them out here through my TV. Won't have to have a regular hookup, or I should say a hookup in an RV park. Completely self-contained. Water system, electric. Oh, it's backwards. Well, today is January 31st. I was talking to the fellow over here in the motorhome, and he's in his late 50s. He used to be a Hollywood stuntman, and he does a lot of gold dredging. Showed me pictures of the stuff he found. My God, 2 and 3 ounce nuggets. He dredges over on Slate Creek, which is out of San Francisco, up here with his family. Getting some weather down south there. There's rain coming down out of those clouds. Oh, the fella down here has a Magnavox camera just like mine, asking all kinds of technical questions because he didn't know. And naturally, since I've used mine so much, I know it all. So I really helped him out on his picture taking. All right, now it's about 80. I've got my shirt off. Just took a hot solar shower. Last night was 43. I'm sending off the camp notes tomorrow, which is February 1st. And mail a postcard to Colleen so she can send my mail down. Sent Dan a birthday card. I wrote in there, I said, if you do not answer or drop me a few lines, I will come up and break your arm or hire 5 guys to do it for me. I hope he drops me a line. I haven't heard from him in about 1.5 years. Getting a lot of gold over here below this rock outcrop. A lot of people working it. Had a group of people up here yesterday, and I went up and did some metal detecting, talked to them. A couple of real good looking women there. Married, unfortunately. I think I am doomed to be single for the rest of my life. Actually, it's preferable. I'll tell you, I do what I want, go where I want. I don't have anybody to answer to when I spend money on something I want. I don't have to double think everything. What I think is my own pure thought. It's wonderful. Well, I'm still trying to get my video camera charger. I'll go down tomorrow and see if anybody dropped a postcard in my box down at the post office. And they're supposed to give their location on the postcard. And when they do, they've just committed a grievous error, because I'm going to be very nasty. Well, first I'll get my hands on the charger, and then I shall be very nasty with them. They will not be collecting $50 from me. Yeah, this is a better campsite over here. When I was over here under the power line, I could hear it buzz all the time, and I don't hear the power line buzz over here. Plus, I'm not so close to the expressway I can really hear it at night. Well, I'm going over to their travel trailer this evening and play some videos. They want to see the African tapes, especially the balloon flight. And he said he's got a bottle of whiskey and some Coke, so should be an interesting evening. I'll have to get his name again. I'm pretty bad at names. Well, this is February 4th. We're getting a tremendous wind out of the southwest. It's Santa Ana. A lot of dust down there in the valley. I feel sorry for the dealers down there. Their plastic shelters are probably blowing away. Well, it was 1 year ago today I left John's place there in Michigan. Wind is out of the southwest about 30-40 miles an hour. January 9th. They've got a line of C-130s that are going down to a parachute testing ground out here. It's about 30 miles this way. I wish I could get down there and videotape that. I used to jump out of these planes. There's probably a little over 100 paratroopers in each plane. We used to go in groups just like this. One time we had 50 planes. It was a tremendous jump. The other night I heard lions roaring, and over here in these trailers, the guy's got about a half dozen African lions. They were roaring just a few minutes ago. I think they're hungry. We got two lions in this cage right here. You can see the tops of their heads. Those planes bring back old memories. Eventually I'm going to have to get down there and videotape that parachute drop down there. Now on the map it says parachute testing ground. Oh, I think I said January 9th. It's February 9th. Moved my camp back down here to Quartzsite. They just took down the big bluegrass tent today. The friends I was supposed to meet back up there on my claim up here, they came in about 5 days ago. This is February 12th. You can see my camp down here. My old camp was down over here. Decided to try the south side of the expressway, see if I come up with anything. Now over here they use a rake, and they'll rake the rocks aside and then use their metal detectors. There's a fella down here. Oh, there he is. The big rocks interfere with using a metal detector. You can have a nugget underneath, never know it. Almost all of these people over here are after gold. I'm working these areas right here. You can see all the quartz on top of the clay ground. Now, most of that quartz here has come from these veins up here. But the gold is spread through this whole area, small pieces. Now these are the Dome Rock Mountains all through here. Where folks have been raking the rocks out of the way, then they metal detect the row, and then they'll put the head of the detector right on the flat ground, pick up the small nuggets. Now I raked this path through here. Won't tell you how many I found. Well, the number starts with a 0. Didn't find too many. Now, one thing I don't do is I don't remove any vegetation. Some of these bastards ripped up 3 little saguaro cactus, and they were only about 6 inches high. Tore them up by the roots. These piles of gravel you see here, people have been dry washing these washes looking for gold. There's somebody metal detecting. It's February 15th. There's a fellow over here metal detecting, and he's missing both arms. There was an article in one of my prospector magazines about him. Small world. The article was about him in Alaska finding nuggets with detectors. I just went over and talked to him. I didn't mention videotaping. Yeah, he's about 73. Well, these folks are from Oregon. There's a little lizard down there. This is February 16th. There's a bit of a cave down there. Go down and investigate. Patchy gold back there. Pile of Winchesters. Oh, we shouldn't be too far from the spring I'm going to videotape. Well, here's the spring. Water out here is just about as rare as gold. You can see the honeybees going down in there, getting water for their hive. People have put their names and dates on here. Here's Teodoro Perez, July 5th, 1903, and somebody put fish. They took a metal object or a hard stone and kind of chipped their name into the slab. And here's Sam Dean, 1925. And here's Doug Ross, 1962. There's another one up here. It's illegible. Could be very old. Over here we've got 1959 Bonita. At least they didn't use spray paint. And here's Ronald Don. And there's Ross, 1959. It's probably the only water for quite some distance all around. I think they're African honeybees. They don't seem to be too nasty. I wonder if this would be a good metal detecting area. You know, lost coins, shells. I found the deer antlers up over here. Mule deer dropped a nice set. Oh, I only found the one, but probably had a pretty good spread. It's a 5 point. It's about, maybe a foot and a half high. Now you probably had Apaches getting water here, prospectors, all kinds of wildlife. It's kind of nice they left a little bit of a record with their name and date. I thought about putting mine here, but it's a little too recent. Zipping out of there and went up the wash. This is kind of pretty over here. These pieces of bedrock. I think this is volcanic ash. Very pretty stuff. rusty red texture. Well, I'm standing underneath a mass of wild mistletoe. There's no women out here to take advantage of it. At least I don't see any. Maybe I should carry some of it back to camp with me. I might want to shave first. Well, I think I'll take a siesta. Nice little shelter, keep you out of the rain. Probably used by Apaches, Mexicans, prospectors, coyotes, lizards, and Steve Kneale. Whenever I find bedrock like this, I always pay pretty close attention, looking for gold. Just call me Grace. I never do that when I'm off camera. Self-conscious, I guess. It's amazing how those cactuses grow up there, take hold. This is one of the tallest cactuses I think I've seen so far. Looks like it's close to 30 feet tall. It's growing right in the wash, and it looks like it really takes a beating when the rocks hit the sides of it. It's not in very good shape. See what it looks like sideways. Nope, still can't get her all in. A horizontal cactus. Now even upside down it's just as tall. Gee, I wonder what kind of seeds these are. I wonder how they taste. Oh, they aren't too good. Why, those look like deer droppings. Oh dear. Well, I'm going to keep walking up the wash here, see if I can find some more water holes, maybe some Indian pictographs on the rocks instead of Juan Perez and Tommy Dean. I'm going further and further back into the hills away from civilization. Looks like someone used stone to make a claim mark, corner marker. And there's another one up on the ridge up here. Now there's a large pack rat nest in the stream bank. I always like to check the pack rat nest. They pick up old cartridges and coins, gold nuggets, take a metal detector and pass the head over the top of the pack rat nest. He's got a lot of little burr cactus pods in his nest. I kind of wonder if he hurts his feet when he steps on those. They're almost like porcupine quills. Many times I'll find bones in these nests. Human teeth, things like that. Well, I can no longer hear the cars back on the highway. I always enjoy it when I get far enough back I can't hear motors, traffic. Here's some more deer berries. Some deerberry soup. Yeah, I brought my lunch and 2 quarts of water today because I'll spend most of the day back here. I'll tell you, I wouldn't want to be out here in the summertime. Temperatures are 120. Right now, in the sunshine, it's probably 70, 75. Shade, it's a lot cooler. Here's a prickly pear cactus. When a saguaro cactus dies and the outer skin disappears, this is what you end up with right here. Looks like a series of sticks side by side. This is the inside of one of those big cactuses. They're pretty solid. Then the inside is filled with what they call pith. It's kind of a mushy consistency. A lot of fluid, water. Here's the old skin here. It's almost like tree bark. They don't have much of a root system. It's real shallow rooted. There's little rootlets that go off, but they've weathered off this piece here. Store all their water right in the trunk. Oh, he's got my hat. Well, we'll keep heading up canyon. Right now it's just about lunchtime. It's about 11:36. You can see the layers of stream sediment that have been brought down over the millions of years. Rocks are laid out the way that the water brought them down. Different colored bands in this bank here. This is a nice specimen of a teddy bear cactus. These come off just like the burdock we have back home. They stick in your finger. Well, they really have some barbs to them. Might get her off. It's like a porcupine quill. Make you bleed too. Many times you'll find bird nests built inside these, and they're just about as safe as they can be. Kind of pretty, but they're painful. Keep picking up these burrs and thistles. I like to keep them pulled out because they start to work in. Well, we'll have some lunch. Run along my shirt in case I get cold. This program is being brought to you by Franco-American Spaghetti and tomato sauce with cheese. I always have my GI can opener. By the time you get it open, you're no longer hungry, you're starving. I'll give you a panoramic view up here. My camp is down over just behind this little ridge right here. The campsite I had before was down over here. This is Dome Rock Mountain, and off in the distance you can see quartzite. When I took the ultralight flight that day, he started down here at the fairgrounds, flew up over this mountain, and he flew up over the top of this mountain, and he went along the desert floor down here, then he went up, and we ended up flying over quartzite. Yeah, I came up this wash right here and back around. And you can see this expressway off in the distance. Now when there's a swallow. See if I can get him in there. No, just can't. He's too quick. When I leave quartzite in about a week or so, I'm going to take the road south to Yuma. And Yuma's about 80 or 90 miles to the south here. It's kind of a pretty shot of that tree. It's amazing how those cactuses can grow this high up. Hardly any water to speak of. Looking off over here, just beyond these hills, is the Colorado River Valley. And these mountains over here are in California. The town of Blythe is also over there. Small town. Now from here you can see the alfalfa fields over in the Colorado River Valley, irrigated fields. Almost tempted to go over to this crest here so I can shoot down along the other side. But I have a feeling when I do get over there, there's going to be another crest just as high on the other side, so I don't think a waste of time. Most of this light colored material down here is volcanic ash, eroded away. You know, it's amazing how warm these brown rocks get. Now, if a person were lost out here overnight, they'd find these big slabs of rocks on the south face of a hill and just make their bed right on top of them. Probably keep warm all night long. Make a situation where you could have your campfire close to them. Right now they must be 110 degrees. Well, I'm going to head down this slope here and probably go down this wash and back over to my camp. Let's see. I think I'm lost. Wow, it's over in here anyway, someplace. Actually, you never do get lost. You just misplace yourself. Out here it'd be awful hard to get lost anyway because all you have to do is keep the sun over your shoulder and you're always heading in a northerly direction. Of course, during the summer months it's the opposite. The sun is in the northern hemisphere instead of the southern hemisphere. So if you kept the sun over your shoulder or you walked toward the sun, if you walked toward the sun, you'd still be heading in a northerly direction. But I'll tell you, this area in the summertime, if you get way back in, you don't have any water, you're in deep shit. Which a lot of people have died out here from lack of water over the last several hundred years. You know, whenever I see a large rock like this on a cliff edge, I'm always tempted to try to push it over. Starts pretty good avalanches that way. Well, there's people camped all through this whole country out here. Campers, motor coaches, motor homes, trailers. I don't see any tents. I always like to put my binocular strap underneath my arm. In case I fall, I won't knock out all my front teeth. Binoculars come up. So far, it's worked. Got some mourning doves out here. kill some. Well, we've got Papa Cactus, Mama Cactus, Brother and Sister Cactus, and Old Baby Cactus. They don't fly very far. I don't think they like being pushed out of the shade. Now this stone is pretty. It's got several different colors. Well, it looks like someone was working a load deposit here. Vein probably ran down through. It didn't go too far back in though. They started a bit of a dump over here. Like they were doing a little wining and dining, a lot of wine bottles. Probably Gallo. Apparently they're thinking about coming back because they left all their stuff down in here. Let's take a look at his claim notice, see what kind of a deposit he had over here. Claim is by L.A. Landry, Post Office Box 1114, Quartzsite, Arizona. He recorded this claim May 23rd, 1988. Name the claim Blue One. Oh, okay. The work he did up there, he was after turquoise. He says followed turquoise veins near main pit and outcroppings near south central. Turquoise. kind of nice if I could find a chunk over here. Only problem with turquoise, you can't pick it up with a metal detector. Strictly by eye. Chipmunk. Little lizard. I found some rather interesting crystals over here. Okay. This is just a big mass of quartz crystals. And this is kind of prettier. Sure what this is. It's real smooth. This looks like jade or something of that nature. Well, back at camp. Always park my truck on the back side of the trailer, keep it cooler. A little better for the tires too. It doesn't, the sun doesn't eat up the tires like it would out in the sunshine. They've really worked over this area. Just about every square inch has been raked out and metal detected. Now there's so much quartz here, it looks like snow. I think most of this came from probably a huge outcropping that went up 50 to 100 feet one time. It's just crumbling away. Most of it has come from this spot right up here. They've been raking this out too for nuggets. Of course, that gold wouldn't be in that quartz outcrop up there. What happens is that over the millions of years, water has carried it through here, and the quartz just kind of went over the top of it. Strictly, here's a saguaro that's just starting out. It's about a foot tall, and just about 8 inches in diameter. It's about 8 inches there, 8 inches over here. Looks like possibly two of them are going to be growing side by side. Well, it's always good to get back at camp. I like to traipse the hills, but after a while my feet do get kind of sore. Really appreciate these letters. Got a letter from John and Sue. That was nice, Dad, to help John on the basement there. That's a lot of work. I can remember Dad was doing some drywalling up there in St. Ignace, and somehow his foot got caught in a sheet of drywall. Didn't cut it just right, I guess. I've done that myself. A letter from Dan. He wrote a 3-page letter. Wrote an awful lot in here, too. Going back to school, college. Thinking about moving to Minnesota or Wisconsin, possibly Northern California. He's getting bored with what he's doing up there at Eagle, Colorado. was hoping to say more about his deer hunting trip. Letter from Karen. She sent a Valentine's Day card for me. I thought that was all nice. I won't tell you what she wrote in there. Here's Valentine's for kids. Anthony, you did an excellent job on this coloring. I like that. All my favorite colors. You've got brown and yellow, and there's black and orange, and there's pink, and green. The teacher wrote a smile face on there, and then she wrote nice. It's nice. Thank you. And here's a birthday card from the kids. They use ain't in here quite a bit. I never use the word ain't, but I'll read it anyway. It says, frogs right here. It says, it ain't the label on the jeans, it's how they make you look. It ain't the gourmet menu, if it's the chef can cook. It ain't the vintage of the wine, it's whether it tastes good. It ain't the wax job on the car, it's what's beneath the hood. It ain't the money that you make, it's what they let you keep. It ain't what time you go to bed, it's when you go to sleep. It ain't the hand you're dealt, it's how you play the deal. And it ain't the candles on your cake, it's how young at heart you feel. And then there's a jumping frog. See that? Pretty neat, huh? Happy birthday, love, Amber. Down here, Amber's got her fancy signature. And up here, love, Anthony. And Anthony wrote his name in cursive. That's pretty good. Nice. Thanks, kids. Dad's going to keep that card. He's going to stick it right up there. How's that? Is that pretty good? And they sent me a Valentine's Day card. Looks like a little Pooh Bear. It says, Happy Valentine's Day, Dad. Love, Amber and Anthony. And then Amber wrote down here, P.S. Anthony wrote his name in cursive. It says, this teddy bear is very glad he gets to be the one to bring you Valentine wishes for a day filled with fun. Thank you. And then Mom wrote Dad a letter. Hope this gets to you in time. Happy 41st birthday. So far, 40 has been good to me. Don't feel any different than when I was 25. Anthony is in a play on the 16th, and he'll do fine. It'd be nice if I was up there. I could videotape that. He's also in church choir at church. It says, for breakfast he will eat bacon, eggs, cereal, and juice. There's no rushing him. Well, I'm glad you've got a good appetite. Those are all my favorites too. I like bacon, eggs, juice, cereal. Amber got her report card and missed the A honor roll by 1 B+. Hey, that's still fantastic. You aren't going to get on the honor roll every time. You know, it's a real hard thing to do, especially when you get into the higher grades. Dad was never on the honor roll. I think my average was about C+. Well, that was an awful nice letter. Of course, I keep all my letters. Never throw a letter away. And letter from Mom. I always appreciate the little green she puts in there. That really comes in handy. I'm not exactly becoming wealthy out here in the gold fields of California and Arizona. Well, she asked if I ever got the note paper that I use in my daily journal, and no, I haven't gotten any of this 6-hole note paper yet. If you have it up there, I think they sell it at Kmart up there, I'm pretty sure. But just take one of the sheets that I sent up there, and if you could send down a couple pads, I'll fill them out and I'll send them back to you. Let's see. Oh, what I'm wondering on the videotape of Ed Dunkel fishing is if you have the tape at your home, or if Colleen still has it up at hers. I'd like the tape down at Mom and Dad's. That way I keep all the tapes together. If the tape is still up at Colleen's, if she could send it down to you, and if you do have it, in one of your letters, just write that the tape is at your place instead of up at Colleen's. I know she'd take care of it, but I still want all the tapes together, so instead of having them spread in amongst different families. Well, this tape I'm making right here, I'll send up to you and Dad, and then maybe you can send it up to Anthony, unless you ran off 3 copies on those first 3 tapes from last year. Then I think that'll be good enough. Really, the originals I'd like to keep, because if they get up there, there's no telling what might happen to them. I don't think they take care as good care of the tapes as you probably would down at your place. About the worst thing you can do is let them sit in the sun on a windowsill or something. The sun will just eat that tape right up. Colleen and Gordy are on diets. Mom says they are in trouble on Friday weigh-in. If they haven't lost, Colleen gets no cigarettes for the week. And Gordy gets no beer. And Mom wrote a sad face at the end of the sentence. And Mom wrote, "We think of you every day." Well, I think of you folks every day, too. If I had my own plane, I'd fly up every weekend. But unfortunately, nice letters. I always appreciate the letters. It's like when I was back in the service. You always look forward to mail call. Well, let's see. Today's the 16th. This morning was 46, and temperatures have been hitting mid-60s, 70s. Sunny every day. suntan today. Got a little burned on my face though. I should have worn my safari hat, that one that goes all the way around. Those baseball hats are nice, but they don't cover sides of your face, back of your neck. Oh, I'm wondering too, I've sent home 2 little vials of gold nuggets, and I just want to make sure that when you open up those packages that you take out those little vials because they're so small. I could see them getting tossed in the wastebasket. But I've sent 2 up, so you should have 2 of them. And Dad can just keep those in his gun room. Oh, I don't have too much to say. The folks over here, Bob and Donna Bloom, are fantastic people from Minnesota. They've had me over for dinner and took me out to lunch, and their friends are just really incredible people too. Very, very friendly. Just like people in Michigan, and of course Minnesota is right on line with those northern states, and I think all of us northern people kind of hang together. Well, there's not too much extra I can say. Bob let me use his small battery today, so when I was back in the hills, I didn't have to lug around that big 8-hour battery. When I have to take that big battery, when you're walking in the hills, it kind of throws your spine off. You end up with a sore back the next day. Saw a lot of people back there today, metal detectors and dry washers. Those dry washers are used to separate the gold from the gravel and sand and dirt. Well, right now it is 12 minutes after 4, so I think I shall put some dinner on. Oh, I started making my own bread. I'll take whole wheat flour, and then I put a little dash of baking soda in there. And in the morning, if I want pancakes, I'll put a couple tablespoons of sugar in with the batter. And boy, I'll tell you, the pancakes are excellent, just as good as, say, Aunt Jemima. And the bread, I'll make what I call pan bread. It'll be about that big around, and about 1 inch thick. Looks like a pancake, only it's bread like they used to make back in biblical days. Tastes good. Eat it while it's hot, put butter on it. Sometimes I'll spread jam on it. It's easier doing that because you can have a lot of flour on hand, and like bread, you can't have too many loaves of bread on hand because it doesn't keep. But the flour is excellent, and I'll probably just continue making my own bread instead of buying it. Down here it's about $1.35. Some places $1.40. And I've got my own milk supply. I use that powdered milk. You can't keep very much milk in that refrigerator. And I'll use 3.5 cups in a 2-quart container. That gives me milk for about 4 days. Oh, I'm thinking about putting a catalytic heater in my my trailer. Bob over here has one, and you use 100% of your energy. You don't lose any out of the flue because it's not vented out. And for a small one that would fit this trailer, they're about 110. But I don't think I'll get one until maybe when I head back up north again. Probably put it right here next to the door. That's about the best place, I think. Well, I think I'll get cleaned up. Probably wash my hair. About every third day I wash my hair. About every morning, though, I'll take a sponge bath. Cleaned up. Yeah, I get one of my rock books down. I think I'll take a look and see what this rock is here. Awful pretty. Well, turn off the camera. Completely out of words. It doesn't happen very often. Well, they're doing some dry washing over here. This is February 17th. Is a homemade dry washer?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Got it running on gas engine.
Now he shovels the material into the screen and it drops through. He's got a bellows down here.
A hopper.
A hopper. Separates the gold from the sand and stone and
Did you make this?
overburden.
Paid $300 for it.
Paid $300 for it, huh? With the engine?
That's without the engine.
Without the engine?
Yeah.
Oh, lucky.
Because I had another one I paid $175 and it wore out. Fell apart out here. And then I kept this motor. It fell over and broke.
Have you gotten $300 worth of gold out of it?
Yeah, I guess so, Captain. Oh, well, I've lost some of the gold I found.
You lost it.
Yeah, running across the... My wife and I went to get a bumper put on. No, the brakes fixed. We took our gold across the street out of the car because it was in a baby jar, you know, a baby food jar. And running, coming back, we ran across and it jumped out of her purse. Fell, busted right on the road.
No kidding. Oh,
It was about, I'd say it was a fourth of an ounce. So
that's that.
it was spot.
Now this is your glory hole right here.
Well, I usually just skim the top of the ground. But sometimes the ground's underneath is soft, and that gold might go until it hits that kind of clay. Then it'll stop when it hits that clay, like, well, as big as it is, and otherwise it'd go right on through it. Through its big teeth.
I would think that if you went down in those hollows down in there and got that would be the place to get it.
That's where I usually work.
Yeah. You'd think there's where the gold would wash down into the gullies.
Yeah, that's what it.
I don't know anything
I've
about
always
it.
worked dry washes. That's what it's called, dry wash.
Because you see them back up in the hills. That's where they've been working all these dry gulches.
I was going to, but she hung the clothes out.
Oh, get dust on the clothes.
Yeah, probably I'm in the wrong spot here.
This is a very rare phenomenon out here. Clouds. Well, today is February 20th. Early morning. It's about 50 degrees right now. Parked the truck on the back side of my trailer. It's cool. I'm doing a lot of metal detecting in the washes and hillsides. found much. Well, since this is February 20th, I thought I'd wish you a happy birthday, Dan. And this is probably the beginning of the second half of your life, because I can't see you living past 80. You know, anybody as mean and nasty as you just can't be allowed. If you ever see this tape, happy birthday. 40 isn't bad. I really enjoyed it. For me, life began at 39 when I took my African trip. The fulfillment of a lifetime's ambition, that trip. Really enjoyed it. Well, I want to lift my cup of Maxwell House to you. Hope you have a good day. And if you ever see this tape, it'll probably be when you come up to Michigan to visit the folks or something. So it might be a while. Well, I'm having a good time out here, but I'm not getting rich. Thought about possibly driving up to Colorado and seeing you folks up there, but time will tell. Yeah, if I went up there, it'd be on my way to Northern California. You know, I just kind of pass through and then over. Well, I think I shall end this little segment right here. So long. There's the moon. Today is February 21st. Early in the morning. Right now it's about 7 o'clock. Arizona time. The sun should be up in about a half hour, I think. You can see the moon rising and the cars coming around the mountain on the expressway. Something you don't get to see very often is the sunrise and the full moon setting. Unless you get up early. Oh, February 22nd. Happy birthday to me. I gave myself a birthday present. Well, this is February 22nd, my birthday. I keep having trouble with my video camera battery, so I'm using the truck's battery power. Right now I'm camped on the Colorado River. And I'm about 3 miles south of Ehrenberg, Arizona. This cord is just a bit too short. Now yesterday or last night when I went to bed, this mud flat was under 2 feet of water. I'm going to have to get a longer cord because this one just barely reaches. The bamboo here is really something. It's about 12 feet tall. There's a tremendous amount of bird life here. Thousands of Canadian geese, herons, bald eagles. I'm going to step down off this truck here. And great horned owls. This morning the coyotes were calling all through here. This cord is just not long enough. Oh. Trying to get backside here. I'm going to get a longer cord if I have to use this truck battery. So good. The camp I had before was about 20 miles off to the northeast. And just above Quartzsite, Arizona. And I think today I'm going to rig up a long line for this camera. That way I can use this power off the truck. Well, I'm kind of tethered to my truck battery there. I can't extend the cord out. I'm going to have to make another one. The 8-hour battery I had, that little converter, apparently couldn't take the generator, 600 watt, burned out. So now I don't have any portable battery. I'll have to eventually buy another charger and some extra 2-hour batteries. I think that's the only way to go. Now over on the other side of the river is California. This over here is Arizona. The time difference from this side to the other side is an hour. They catch some pretty good catfish out here, 100-pound plus. They use small mackerel for bait. Now this morning the coyotes started calling over here. Another group started calling over here. And you hear some over. I was surrounded by coyotes this morning. And early this morning, big flights of geese went over. And yesterday there was 2 jets screaming over the top of the water, but I couldn't get that on video. Would have been nice. Done a lot of work here. The DNR planted all the shrubbery along the river here, and today they're over here planting more on the other side. Lots of cormorants out here in the river. Actually, it's an Asian or African fish duck. There were quite a few of them in my African video. Well, I really appreciate the card and the gift, Mom and Dad, that you sent. I ended up buying a month's supply of groceries. Getting so I make my own bread. The early voyagers used to call it bannock. And I'll bring one out and show you. Pretty good stuff too. Use just plain flour, baking soda, a little salt, and usually I like to eat it hot. I'll butter the top of it. Plus it makes a chewy pancake too if you like chewy pancakes. It's good stuff. Almost has a soft pretzel taste. Had a hydroplane go through here yesterday. He must have been doing 80. Shot a big rooster tail up in the air. But there's some mud flats out here, and the water's about a foot deep. And he'd hit a mud flat, bog right down, but he'd get through it. Yesterday was 81 degrees, and last night was 40. Early in the morning, before the wind kicks up, they do a lot of spraying out on the crops, the fields they have out here. They grow just about anything. Alfalfa, they get about 10 cuttings a year. They grow almonds and dates, oranges, grapefruit, papaya, just about any tropical fruit you can think of. Now I got to put my glasses on. The sun is bright. Now the television reception is perfect here. I get 3 channels, sharp, clear, good color. I've got wild horses down here. If I can rig something up for a battery, I'll see if I can go back in the hills and get some video of the horses. But I've never had so much trouble taking my video as I have in the last 2 months, having that charger stolen and that 2-hour battery along with it. Now having that 8-hour charger converter burning out. Pain in the butt. Oh, this tape here, if you'd wrap it up and after you've watched it, send this one off to the kids. And if you didn't run copies off of the first 2 or 3 tapes I made in the very beginning, why don't you send maybe 2 of those or 3 along with this one. Kids will appreciate seeing Dad out here in the Wild West. Just wish I was making some money. Boy, when I don't find any gold, there's no paycheck coming in. And I haven't found anything out in here. I'm kind of just goofing off, waiting for April to roll around, and then I can go back up into Northern California and do some dredging up there. That's the only way to really make money. Use a suction dredge. Got some nice sand dunes up here. I'm gonna go up there and lay in the sun, I think. This whole river valley, over the millions of years that Colorado has moved back and forth across the valley. Land here is just as flat as a table. And all of the rock you see along the banks here, that was all brought in and put down to stabilize the bank so the river wouldn't move anymore. They used to have a lot of steamboats, paddle wheelers, come up here in the old days. And some of the little towns that they had were thriving little communities, and the paddle boats would come in and bring the cargo for the miners, food supplies, passengers. While the river would change so much, some of these little towns would end up half a mile from the river frontage after so many years, and then they'd fade out, and flood waters would come through and wipe out every trace of any village having been there. One of those towns, for instance, was Ehrenberg. There's just a few cement slabs left up there. And another one was La Paz. That's up on the Colorado River Indian Reservation. It's about 10 miles north. The water's gone up again since this morning. It rises and falls about a foot to 2 feet during the night and day. Not very deep. I just wish I could take that camera, walk around this area and shoot some tape, but like I say, I'm stuck with the truck battery. Well, I think I'll have my lunch. Well, it got up to 86 degrees today. This speedboat out here hit the big sandbar and engine conked out. Go out and give assistance, but it's a long swim. I'm still using the truck battery from Power on my short cord. And a big flock of geese coming in here, Canadas. Usually see big flocks out here early in the morning and toward evening. It's hard to believe all this out in the Arizona desert. Over here in these trees is a big flock of some type of herons. They've got nests up in the trees. The last three sunsets over here have been just gorgeous. Anytime you've got cloud cover like this, it's beautiful. Yeah, 86 degrees today. I had to put out my awning. Just got too warm. I laid out in the sun. I put my safari shorts on. My toenails from Mount Shasta, the big toenail, is starting to grow out again. Got both toes like that. No toenail. I figure just about the time they grow it, I'll climb Shasta again. I want to climb it during August. This time it'll be a little warmer. Well, there's an old biplane spraying crops up the river here. Red Baron. Well, I rigged up a new charging system for my video battery. It works. Now I get to videotape away from my truck. I'm going to shoot a little video here for you this morning. Got up early actually last night, starting in the evening. I could hear geese out here on the river, and all night long I listened to that gaggle. Then early this morning they took off again. I'm going to find a way to get across the river. I want to videotape these tree nesting herons over here. We've got at least half a dozen nests up in these trees here. Well, they've done a tremendous amount of work along here. They rock lined both sides of the bank, and they planted all the shrub. Looks like, not sure what this is. I'm gonna have to look it up. And yesterday they were doing a lot of work over here, planting. Now it looks like they've done put a pond in over here, large pond, just over the bank. The trees out here are just starting to leaf out. These are cottonwoods. Look a little like small elms. The brush back here on the sides of the riverbanks is just as thick as that stuff you have behind your place, Dad, where the bucks stay. We've got deer back in here, coyotes, wild horses. I don't know if they have any wild pigs here or not. Well, I'll go and have some breakfast. This river's awful shallow. The average is about 3 foot. During the night, the water drops and you'll have mud flats out here. This is one of the DNR people who's been doing the planning. These cormorants are out here every morning. They'll sit out in this snag, drying their wings. They're fish ducks. You see them in Africa, Asia, all through the southern U.S. and out here, South America, Mexico, Central America. Now this cormorant right here has a piece of fishing line with